I left my church recently and my dad keeps sending church members to my house to save me. Recently a pair of church volunteers came over to talk with me. They offered assistance with anything I might need, so I had them help around my farm while we talked. We talked about where they are from, they're volunteering for 2 years from out of the country, what they plan on doing when they get home, how my life's going, and why I stopped believing. The next week one of them called and said they weren't sure if they believed when they left the country, and after our talk they realized they didn't believe and wanted to return home. The problem was that their volunteer coordinator was holding on to their important documents so they wouldn't get misplaced, and one of those things were his passport. The coordinator said he would only give it back after his 2 years were finished. He asked if I could get it back for him since the coordinator is my uncle. I spoke to my uncle and he said he knew I was the one who corrupted him and basically told me to kick rocks. I told him I would call the police on him if he didn't give him back the passport, and he said I didn't have the balls. So I called the police and they redirected me to the Australian embassy. My uncle was fined quite a hefty amount and told him he had 3 days to return the passport or they would start the process to charge him with human trafficking. Word got around his church and now he's been released from his paid coordinator position. My family are saying I went too far and that I only did this because he insisted me, and that they knew he would have given the volunteer his documents back. That he has too many physical problems to get another job and I shouldn't have said anything. I'm starting to think maybe I did the wrong thing and should have tried other avenues before going straight to the police. Am I the asshole? My dad passed away 2 weeks ago. Me, my wife Candace and my daughter, 16, Shiloh, and her stepsisters, 19, and 17, flew to my hometown to attend the funeral. After that, we got 2 hotel rooms, one for me and Candace, one for the girls. While I was in the room, I got a call from Shiloh at 11 p.m. crying and sounded like she was arguing with her stepsisters. I asked what the matter was and she told me that her stepsisters insisted that she sleep on the floor. There were one large bed in the room and there was enough space for all 3 girls to sleep on. I asked why and she said she didn't know. I went to see what the issue was and talked with my stepdaughters about it. They kept talking but didn't really explain why they told her to sleep on the floor. They just shrugged and said it's better this way. We're more comfortable this way. I told Shiloh to grab her things, and when one of my stepdaughters asked where we were going, I told her I was booking her a hotel room. Both looked upset but didn't say anything, but they must have called their mom because she was awake when I got back and started arguing with me about giving Shiloh an entire hotel room for herself. I explained why I did it, but she said I wasted money and that Shiloh could have sucked it up for one night on the floor. I called her unreasonable for saying this, but she told me I showed the girls that I'm playing favorites and made my stepdaughter share a room while I gave my daughter an entire room for herself. We went home and Candace is still bringing it up, saying I mishandled this. She even pointed out how my stepdaughters are upset since they're not speaking to me. ETA, it was Candace who got a room for the 3 girls as to not stir any drama and save money. She was in charge of hotel reservations since I was emotionally distressed. Also, Candace did not expect Shiloh to sleep on the floor. She wanted all 3 girls to share the bed. ETA. Number 2, for those that are calling me an A for giving my daughter her name. Her mom did that and she's deceased, so please let's not focus on that. And also, I've known my stepdaughter since they were little. We're pretty much family and Candace is a shame, but I give her full access to my money since this stuff was already discussed beforehand. Pretty much everything was.